What is up, everyone? This is Omegabalmung here with another comic book pickup of the week. Just before I get into uh, the meat of the video, what I want to do is talk about some of the comic stores that I usually go to in the St. Paul, Minnesota kind of St. Paul, Minneapolis area here, which I live in Minnesota, of course. And like I said, there's quite a few, a lot of small ones and stuff. I haven't checked out all the stores yet. That is my quest right now to do, is to go to everyone and check them all out and see, which one that I enjoyed the most going into. Actually, the first one I'm going to talk about is called Source Comics and Games. That's actually the first comic store I've been to, and it's a cool experience when you actually go to a comic store. You kind of just walk in there and there's just all these comics everywhere. Source Comics and Games has actually, other games, of course, like, whatever games they play, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. And they also have Magic cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and stuff like that. So it's a big store. It's kind of split up into like comics and then a section for games and a section for cards. And then in the back, it's all where they play on, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I think, or maybe just Fridays and Saturdays. So that's a cool place to check out if you're into anything like that. But Source Comics and Games is the first place I've been to. It's been a while. Actually, I think it's actually the first. I think the first comic bookstore I've been to. So it was pretty cool. Going in there was kind of like, you're like, whoa, there's so much stuff everywhere, and it's cool. Everything's kind of placed out cool. When you enter, the left wall here always stretches to the back. It's all covered. The newest ones are out in the front here first. So when you enter, you have the registers here, and then the left, or the registers are kind of in the middle, kind of, but on the left side here stretches all the way back, and it's all all the latest new comic books, and then the latest comic books. And then in the front here, where they have like a bunch of bookshelves, those are pretty much trade paperbacks and hardcover books. So that's pretty cool. They place it like that. And then kind of in the corner in the back, or towards the back, those are where all the back issues are. And it's pretty cool how they have it pulled like a shelving unit, so you could pull them out and go through them, and then you push them back in. It's kind of tough, mostly if there's a shelving that has a lot of comic books in there. It kind of gets a little hard to push in to pull them out. But it's cool how they have it like that. It's kind of shelving I would like to have for my comic books. That'd be pretty cool, but they're probably pretty expensive. So that's actually the first one to go to. That's probably our biggest store in Minnesota here, that I've been to. Granted, I've only been to 3, so it's the biggest store I have visited. But they're pretty cool people there. The second one is called Hot Comics. This one's a little bit further off the road. If you live, it's in Bloomington, so it's a little bit further from, like, maybe about 5 minutes or so, 10-ish minutes or so from Mall America. So it's pretty. It's like a medium-sized store. It has all this hardcore. It's straight up comic book, and then there's some toys, and there's like a little section for like video games and stuff like that, retro, current video games. So there's like a little small section in the store. Right when you enter to the right, there's a small little section there for all that retro gaming stuff like that, which I might have to pick up some games when I'm there anyways. But and then the rest of the store is mostly just comic books, and then a little section for toys. The way they're set up is they have actually, like, the boxes on the bottom there. They have really long boxes, and then they're set up A through Z, and then they have some more of the cheaper books on the bottom where they kind of pull them out and you just kind of look through them. So that's pretty cool. And then they're kind of placed like a straight line going from A to J, and then J to Z. So it's kind of like 2 aisles, and then left and right. So you're in the middle of the aisle and you're just looking left and right for the books. That's pretty cool. And then on the left wall here, if you're looking straight back, from where the entrance is. So your back is toward the entrance. You have all the current, not new comic books, but current comic books that came out in the last few weeks, or last week, or the last few weeks, sitting there. And then in the back, there's more towards the back corner, right hand corner. You're gonna have the new comic books that just came out. So whatever is released on Wednesday, those are the ones that just came out. So it's a pretty cool store. I like it. They sell the Ultra Pro poly bags, which are like, I think about $5.99. They're pretty cheap there. Source kind of sells them for a little bit more expensive. I think they're like $9.99. I think they are. But yeah, the Ultra Pros, if you like them, they're like I said in my video, they're a little tight and snug, but it makes a pretty good looking. It makes your comic book look cooler. So it's presentation wise, it makes your comic book look cooler because it's little. It's just perfect for around the edges. But and then you have, and then the third one that I've been to, and it was the one that I always wanted to go to. It's called Captain Jack's Comics. That one is actually a very, very small store. I want to say it's size-wise is in my room. It's about maybe 2.5 or 3 times bigger than my room. The Source and Hot Comics are huge, or at least Source is huge. Hot Comics is maybe half of that, and Captain Jack's is like maybe half of that. So it's kind of getting smaller and smaller. This one, the presentation wise for the store isn't that great, but because they're kind of set up on tables, like those plastic tables, and then they're just set up on there. And then there's some comics on the ground. You kind of have to dig through. But what I like about that store is the fact that it's I could find a lot of comic books. Maybe it's because it's kind of out there and it's a smaller store. I feel like when I went there, I was able to pick out quite a lot of comic books that I wanted to get, and then they're missing like a few issues and stuff like that. Like I said, the only problem I have with it is really the fact that it's a little smaller store, so their stocks aren't that. I mean, the comics books aren't placed that well, so it gets kind of crazy. Like sometimes when you look at the bottom, like where the A's are, and then you look under the desk or the table, there's like S's there and stuff like that. So it gets a little weird. But like I said, it's probably a comic store I'm going to actually go check out more often, because they did have, like I said, I was looking through them. They did have a lot of the comic books that I really wanted, but during that time I was ready. Like, I already had these comic books ready that I picked out already, and maybe I'll come back next time. So I'll definitely be checking that one out for my back issues now. Source Comics, I kind of cleaned them out of it because of the ones I wanted, or the ones I wanted aren't there. So and then Hot Comics, I still have to kind of go through that one. Captain Jack's, I still really have to go through that one because I've only been there once. Source is closer to me. Hot Comics is further, way further, about 20 minutes drive, 25 minutes drive, and then Captain Jack's is a little bit further than Hot Comics. Maybe I want to say maybe a little closer to like about 3-4 miles from Hot Comics. So those two are closer, but Source is really close to me. That's about 10-minute drive. But those other two are a little bit further down. So if I'm itching to get some back issues, I'll go there. Other than that, I'll just order them online, like I usually do anyway. So, and that's pretty much it. Those are the 3 stores I've gone to. I really want to check out the other ones and see what they carry and stuff like that. So there's if I go to Google comic book stores at Minnesota, I'll find a list of comic book stores. Sucks that Shinder's isn't open anymore. That was one of my favorite, because I used to be a big Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon card kind of guy, but kid back in middle school. That's what I like the most. And the Shinder's, I miss it a lot because they did carry comic books, but and I don't know if anybody knows what happens. It just went away. So that's what This was the 3 comic books stores that I went to. That those are going to be my regular. I'm going to try to go to other ones and find different stores to go through, and then kind of just pick which one that I like to go to. So far, it's Source Comics and Games, Hot Comics, and Captain Jack. So, anyways, those are cool comic books. If you're in town, or if you are a new collector or a new comic book reader, those are the cool shops to go to and pick up some comic books, and maybe you'll find and pick up more comic books like I usually do. I go in there and since they're further away, I kind of just go in there and pick out like maybe 10 comic books to buy. So, anyways, that is pretty much it. And just one more thing before we hit up the new comic books and my back issues. I am pretty much changing all my comic books into Mylar bags. I have a whole bag. I don't know if you can see it from there. I bought a bunch of Mylar bags. I have a bunch of backing boards. So I'm switching out my poly bags into Mylar bags for my comic books. I already started a bit, maybe 15 or 20 comics. Luckily, I only have 300 or so comics, so I don't have that big of a collection, and it's just going to be taking time, but it's not going to take as much time as a lot of other people's comic book collection. Having like 5,000-6,000 comic books to change, that would suck. But so far, I'm going through and changing them. The new comic books that I buy and back issues that I buy from the shops are going straight to Mylar bags. So I'm keeping my bags just in case I want to go to cons and stuff like that, and that I could use it for, or maybe even take it with me to go to the shop, and when I buy them, I could just plug them into there, and so they don't get ruined on my way home. So, anyways, new comic books of the week. I went and grabbed a few. Let me put these on in front of me here first. The first one up is Superman, the New 52, issue 29. I'm going to turn off that TV here. Get that off. It'll help out a bit. With Starfire in the background there. This one is actually, it's an okay read. I read through it a bit. I kind of skimmed through it. The cover kind of misleads you a bit. But it's an okay read. Next up will be Blackout by Dark Horse, When Dogs Are Barking, issue 1. Not the Dogs Barking issue, but Blackout issue 1. I kind of, like I said, this is the one I kind of skimmed through because I was kind of bagging and boarding my comics, and then I was just reading through some of them, and then and some of them caught my attention more than others. So like Red Lantern or Green Lantern, issue 29. Read through this one. It's actually pretty cool. You kind of learn a little bit about why she turns into the red. Why Kara turns into a Red Lantern, and so you get a special appearance of Superman, and he says cool things, as of course Superman always says. So it's a cool read. I'm really gonna probably buy the next one when it comes out. I love it. Next up will be issue 1 of Silver Surfer, and I read through most of it, and I kind of got to the ending, and I'm thinking I'm not a big fan of the artwork, at least. I don't know, maybe I haven't had too much judgment on it yet of the artwork, but I did quite enjoy the read, and I'm definitely going to be picking up mostly the end, while the ending was pretty funny. and I'm definitely going to be picking up more of the Silver Surfer once it comes out. So Silver Surfer issue 1. Next up will be Furious issue 3. It's a pretty good read. You kind of learn a little bit more about her, and then an incident happens and stuff like that. So Furious is actually one of the comics that I'm going to keep on buying, just because it's one of my first new issues that I bought. So it's kind of stuck with me. Next up will be the all new Ghost Rider. I have never been a fan of Ghost Rider up until now, pretty much. I always thought he looked kind of weird. And I kind of like the new look of Ghost Rider. So this is Ghost Rider issue 1. And I really enjoyed how... I like how he looks. He looks just badass. Looks like Bleach or something, with his hollow mask and stuff like that. And then the ending kind of erupts, is of course. And then, I'm definitely am going to be picking up issue 2 once it comes out. That's probably, I really like mostly the beginning part, where is that his brother that's getting attacked, and then he comes and helps. That's pretty cool. As a big brother, that's what I would do. Hopefully. Anyways, next up will be Iron Patriot, issue 1. I know nothing about Iron Patriot. He just looks like Iron Man. I didn't really enjoy it that much when I was reading it, so maybe I'll probably give another read. And that's well, I should say I haven't read it. I kind of skimmed through it because it got a little bit boring. But it kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another read, and I'll pick up issue 2 and see what that to see what happens in issue 2. But something happens to him in the ending part here, so I guess I kind of want to see what happens. So, anyways, that's it for the new issues. There was a few of them that I was thinking about getting, but I was like, maybe not. So I'll pick them up next week when I get more new comics. So next up will be the back issues. First of all, I'm actually going to show these two first. They are a trade paperback and a hardcover cover comic, actually novels, I should say. This first one is Superman Earth 1, Volume 1. And that's pretty cool. I haven't read through this yet. I heard a lot of great things about this. So this, the Earth 1, Superman Earth 1. So I'm definitely going to be reading through this when I have time. And then the next one, I wish I should have probably just bought it on eBay or something. My comic book store didn't really have the hardcover for this one. Fortunately, I would love to have a hardcover. I'm going to put these on the bottom here. And then next up, of course, will be, and there's only 2 issues for the Earth 1, so next up will be Earth 1, issue, Volume 2. So this one's actually the hardcover, and it looks freaking badass. It's just the fact that, it just talks about, like I said, it just talks about Superman, and it's cool. I haven't read through it yet. It looks pretty cool. Mostly the cover. Then we got some back issue comics here. I haven't read through it, like a lot. I've only read through a few of them as I'm like bagging and boarding them. So that's a pretty good way to kind of skim through comics to kind of get to know a little bit about the comics. This one is the New 52 Superman issue 28. So this is the one before, of course, issue 29. It kind of starts at the end of issue 20. Kind of starts at the end of 28 here. Next up will be, I'll put these in order so maybe be a little bit easier. Superman issue 700, and this is actually the Superman Grounded arc. So I read through, skimmed through a bit of it. It's kind of weird seeing Superman kind of just walk around, instead of flying. He's kind of just thinking and walking and thinking and walking and kind of like helping people as as he's walking. So that's pretty cool. And it's a really big, it's like 10 comics or something for Grounded. And my Source Comics and Games does have them. I should have said that. Maybe if you guys watch this, or you're gonna go buy it from me. You guys are gonna buy it. Anyways, they did have the whole series. So, but only bought a few, like 4 of them. So the next one would be Superman's 701. Like I said, these are the Superman Grounded, Superman 7-2. Flip that around there. 7-2 with the glare, and like I said, we're going to get more glare because of the new Mylar bags. They are nice and neat and very shiny. So that's Superman 703. There's like another 10 comic books to this series, so I'll be picking those up soon, hopefully. Next up will be Uncanny X-Force 1. That's cool. I like. Unfortunately, I don't know all the characters in here. I know this is Bishop, of course, Storm, Psylocke, Spiral, and these 2 I really don't know who they are. The dude over here, and then this chick here. I don't know who they are. So, fortunately, I haven't read it yet, or I just kind of skimmed through. Next up will be Superman, Supergirl, Maelstrom. And that looks pretty cool. I do have issue 1, which is in this pile somewhere. Next up, oh, this is gonna be a fun look. These are. Let's see if I have any more. I don't think I. Well, we'll see. These are the Justice League 23, and this is part of the Trinity War arc. So this is Justice League 23, which is part 6 out of 6. Next up would be Justice League Dark 23, which is the 5th part out of 6. I don't know why I'm going backwards, but and I lined them up too, so I could probably done it. 1, 2, 3, and 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next up would be Justice League America number 7. This is the the 4th out of 6. Justice League Dark. This is the 3rd issue 22. 3 out of 6. You get that right there. See if I can get that to focus. Focus camera. I think it's time to get me a camera, like a real camera, instead of using my webcam, because it needs autofocus a lot. And then the quality is okay, but if I can get like a good camera, it'll help a lot better. Justice League of America, issue 6, 2 out of 6 for the Trinity of War. Then Justice League issue 22, and this is the first part of the Trinity War. It says Trinity War Part 1. I think my brother is home, so my dog's going to be barking a lot. Next up will be it's going to be it's part of the Trinity War. It's actually a tie-in. Family Stranger 11. Next up will be Lazarus from Image Comics, issue 1. This one was pretty expensive. It was like $9 or something like that. So, next up will be Green Lantern, issue 28. It's actually a cool double-sided book, so you can flip it around to the other side, and it has a different issue in the back there. So, it's a pretty thicker book. Daredevil, issue 1. And Supergirl, issue 28. And this actually kind of starts off the Red Lantern, the Red Daughter of Krypton. This is when Kara becomes, like I said, from that Green Lantern issue 29. This is kind of where it starts out for Kara being being a Red Lantern, which is kind of weird. Kind of seeing that, it's kind of weird, but it happens. Let's see, Superman, or actually Action Comics. Where is it? 647. And of course, I had to get this one. I know a lot of people didn't really like the TV series, but I'm a big fan of it. So this is actually Smallville, season 11, issue 1. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Smallville, and of course I have to kind of pick them up, but unfortunately, I'm probably going to go with doing a trade paperback for Smallville, because some of them are like a little, like this issue 1 is pretty expensive, and I think issue 2 might be a little expensive too. So for the price of 1, I could get them, pretty cheap just to have to read them. So I'm probably going to go with trade for the next. For the series, so I'm gonna have an extra 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like 3 or 4 books. It's a pretty big series, so that's cool. Next up would be Madame Mirage from where are they from? Top Cow. And then of course I had to do this one too, and people laugh at me. My cousin laughed at me when I picked it up. DC Universe Online Legends, issue 1. I'm a big fan of DCUO, of course, if you've seen from my channel. And I totally forgot about they had that comic book tie-in for it. So, of course, I had to pick it up. This actually picks up right after the opening cinematic, which looks freaking awesome, right? Right? There's nobody here, but I'm looking. Anyways, if you haven't seen that open cinematic, I would definitely check that out. That's pretty cool. If we could have a kind of a movie type, from the DC Universe game, or not game, but just any of the Batman, Superman, and that type of 3D animation, that would be freaking sweet. But I'm pretty sure it would cost them like an arm and a leg and a head just to get that going, because it's pretty expensive to do all that CG work. But next up would be the all-new Savage She-Hulk, issue 1. I'm trying to get through this quick because I spent a little bit in the beginning talking a lot about comic book shops. Next up will be Action Comics 820 with Silver Banshee on the cover. Superman issue 208. The Justice League in the background there. I like Jim Lee. I like his drawings, so of course I have to pick it up. Next up will be Action Comics 826 with Shazam on the cover, or Captain Marvel during the time, I guess. Action Comics 834. Once Upon a Time in Krypton. That's what it says in the cover there. Action Comics 768. Against the Power of Shazam. This is a pretty cool copy, because I think, if I read it right, he turns into Shazam, Superman, which is weird because he technically kind of has that power already. Anyways, this is actually Maelstrom, Superman, Supergirl, Maelstrom, issue 1. So yeah, I picked this one up, and then issue 2 was, I actually went to the comic books, of course, Wednesday. I went to the comic book store and I actually picked up issue 2 there. I think they have the whole thing there, so I'm definitely going to be picking up 3 and 4. It's only 4 copies. The first one, this one was pretty good. The second issue wasn't that great. So I guess, I already have them ready. So 3 and 4 are going to be what I'm going to be picking up, of course. Superman, issue 211. Wonder Woman on the cover with Superman. Superman 210. Of course, with Wonder Woman again on the cover. Let's see. Huntress and Power Girl, World's Finest, issue 18. Kara goes nuclear. Batman and Robin, issue 1. This is actually the one before the new Batman and Robin game. New Batman and Robin series. Which I kind of felt kind of weird because I was going through this, and then there's only like a few pages to read, and then it'll be an advertisement, and then 3 pages, and then advertisement again. Like 2 pages of advertisement. So it's kind of weird. That's kind of brought me out of this book a bit. It's because of that. X-Men versus X-Men round 2. And of course, I was a big fan of X-Men versus Avengers versus X-Men round 1, and I had to pick it up. Had to. Next up will be Civil War, issue 1. Then Constantine, the New 52 Constantine. This is also a tie-in for Trinity War. It's Constantine issue 5. Stealing the Power of Shazam. Next up will be, and it's been a while since actually I did have Civil War. It's a Marvel. I'm more of a DC guy, as you can tell. My whole long box of because I kind of split them up into DC, Marvel, and then kind of just everything else. All Dark Horse, Image into one box, and my whole long box for DC is pretty much done, so almost done. So I'm pretty sure this will probably fill it up, and then I gotta go buy me another one. Spider-Man Blue issue 1, and then let's get this done with here. Since it's kind of stretching kind of long here. Black Cat issue 1. There's only 4 of them, so let's get. Ooh. Get that straight up there like that. Focus. There we go. Black Cat, issue 1. Black Cat, issue 2. And Black Cat, issue 3. And Black Cat, issue 4. So there's only 4 issues. So, got them all. Next up will be Superbia, issue 2. Like that. This is actually the new 52 Batman, issue 25. And I really like the cover for it. It looks awesome. I had to pick it up just for the cover. I know there's a white one for one of the issues, so I'm going to try to look for that. But I like the all black cover. That looked pretty badass. And then, of course, trying to finish up my Trinity War tie-in. Unfortunately, I'm still missing one. Is Trinity of Sin, Pandora, issue 2. And of course, there's only one issue I'm missing. Of course, that's issue 1. And then Trinity of Sin, Pandora, issue 3. Like I said, I'm missing the first issue. And I'm going to have to probably order that. So, anyways, that is a long episode with a lot of talking in the beginning and then showing off comic books and talking about comic books, of course. Anyways, like always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the like button if you guys like my videos. And don't forget to add me on PlayStation Network. The name is Omegabalmung, just like my username, of course. And then, like I said, I'll put that all in the description and stuff like that. So, and like always, put a comment down, talk about comics. Like I said, I'm always looking for people to give me advice for other comics to read. Maybe I'll miss one or two or something like that. Mostly on the Marvel side because I'm more of a DC guy, so maybe I want to find something to read on the Marvel side or something good to try to get into. So, anyways, this is Omegabalmung, and I'll see you, buddy, next time.